I'm now in the process of putting the plastic on the end panels. You see here, this one is done. What I'm using is wiggle wire connectors. You see across the top and down the side here. Wiggle wire, kind of a nice way to connect. And then other places I'm using 1x2 slats. Like around the door here, I've got 1x2 slats here just screwed into place, holding that plastic in place. Here's the other end. Haven't put the stuff up yet. You can kind of see what it starts out looking like. I've got the wiggle wire channels installed. These are the deep channels, so you can get 2 wiggle wires in there. So you can secure both the end and the top. And you can see I've got my pipe insulation on all of the sharp spots. Not bothering to put pipe insulation here because I think that the sharp edge is on the bottom. So the plastic should lay right across here and shouldn't get ripped. And I left these gaps in the middle to make it a lot easier to pull the sheeting across the top when we get to that point. This is the sheeting that I'm using for the ends. This is just 4-year greenhouse grade film, and it's 12 feet by 25 feet. So the width of the greenhouse is 12 feet, and so I'm using the width, and then the length I'm going to cut to 8.5 feet for the height of the greenhouse on the end. This thing here is called a shark bite clamp. It's got a little edge here. You just kind of slip the plastic right under that edge and then clamp it down with this other piece here. So I have a couple of shark bite clamps on there, and that's going to hold this piece of plastic in place while I position it and get it ready to secure. My shark bite clamps are holding the plastic in place now, and I've got it kind of wrapped around here. What I want to do now is just make sure it is centered, so I got enough material on each side to secure. And the first thing I'm going to do to secure it is I'm going to go along the bottom with the tack strip to hold it in place on the bottom, and then I'll do the wiggle wire up, over, and around. Make sure plastic's nice and tight, and then you just work the wiggle wire into the channels just like this, back and forth. I thought I would just leave this here and cross over rather than cutting it. Seems like that works okay. And I got the Teflon coated wiggle wire. Slips in really easily. Okay, there's another corner, and I just noticed where it's printed on there, this side in, this side on the inside. I had a 50-50 chance, and I got it. So on this end anyway, the inside is pointed to the inside. Good deal. Trimmed off the excess plastic, and the ends are done. That took about a half an hour to do this end, so it's quick and easy, I think. And I like this design because you don't have to be gathering a whole lot of plastic film like you would have to if you were going to do it all in one piece. Doing the ends separately works better, especially with this shape of a greenhouse. It does mean you have to buy 2 separate pieces. I bought a 16-foot wide roll for the roof, 16 by 25. And then I bought a 12-foot roll, 12 by 25 for the ends, and I have about half of that left over, or maybe 10 feet by 12 feet or so left over. This is where they come together, the wiggle wire and the slatting. I'm just going to attach the upper canopy of the greenhouse to that 2x4 that's laying there using some old molding that I have laying around. Use wiggle wire where the 2 pieces of plastic have to connect. And I used just slatting in places where it's more or less permanent. This is a 12-foot 2x4 here span. My plastic's 16 feet wide, so I'm going to have it hang over the end here 1 foot, just enough to catch where the peak comes down there, where the two pieces come together. And then on the other end, I'll cut off the excess of the 16-foot roll. This is where the wiggle wire and the slatting come together. That 2x4 in the back there, I'm going to attach the cover plastic on with some old molding I have laying around. And it looks like about 1 foot there I'm going to need on each end to come down and join to the frame. And then I got to build the windows. I have the frames, I just have to cover them. I'm going to use the same plastic as I used here. It's pretty clear. The greenhouse is covered. What I did was I got my plastic out, unrolled it, and then I connected it here to the 2x4 on this end. Using that piece of molding there, just rolled up the plastic and the molding, screwed it to the 2x4, and then passed it over the top. Just passed it over the top, kind of unwrinkled it and got it straight. And then I put in the wiggle wire. The wiggle wire is holding both the sides and the roof in place. And now we've got a fully functional greenhouse. Just have to finish the door and the windows. You can see on this side the molding there, plastic wrapped up around the molding screwed to the 2x4, and then the 2x4 is screwed to the 2x4 on the end, so it's all kind of secured together. Came out pretty good. Alright, I got the door done. I've just reattached it here, so the panes are held in by those little laths. Those are 1x2s. They're at Home Depot, about $1 each. So those are all in there like that. This closes like that. And there's the door. So just the windows. I'm going to leave the windows for a while because I don't need to open them yet, not until later in this season. So for now, I'm going to sign off. That's the Cattle Panel Greenhouse. Tell me what you think. Bye.